Welcome, everyone. This is the Austin J Haines Show, streaming on a brand new platform we are testing tonight. And wow, that's a great lead in for tonight's word, AFRESH. AFRESH. How are you doing, Dr. Andrea?
I'm great. I'm feeling afresh.
You are feeling AFRESH?
I am.
Well, it's time to AFRESH. Let me bring that up on the screen. I want to kick the show off with this word. Trust you can see it at the bottom there, AFRESH. From a fresh beginning, to begin afresh. It's such a great word. It's a
In Austin, because we are on a new platform, I don't see that it says it's recording. So although we're live, is it also recording?
it is recording.
Okay, I needed to, since I can't see that, I needed to verbally ask.
It's recording, it's streaming. So that's a great lead in because we are testing this new platform. We are on E360 TV. We are on Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku. We're going out to Facebook right now. We're going out to YouTube Live. This is a brand new platform. So I thank you for joining us tonight. If you're in the chat, always good to hear where you're listening from and maybe what you're feeling. Like, maybe you're not feeling afresh. Maybe you need that. So let's see if we can usher that in tonight.
Sounds like a beautiful thing.
And I'm glad you're here. You look radiant. And
Thank
this is
you.
so I wore red today because I figured I'm casual because we don't have any guests tonight. Tonight we're testing the platform. We want to hear from you. I'd love to hear from you tonight. And again, I'm navigating this because we got comments. I can probably comments. Here we go. So I think you can type in hello everyone. I'm just going to test this out. If you like to test new things, you're in the right place. So let's see if this goes up on the screen.
And I'm thinking
And I think it
since
will.
you're going to be figuring out a little bit of production as well, it might be fun to flip the tables today and do a little bit of interviewing of you.
Really?
Yeah, so that way people who are tuning in for the first time get to hear about you and find out what's afresh in your world.
That sounds like fun. And I also want to share some of the opportunities that we're working on. I always say there's something that we have that could help one person. There's one person that is searching, they're looking for a new beginning, perhaps. And it doesn't take much effort to find bad news. Would you agree?
It's everywhere you look.
This device we have, I got to tell you, I turn off my notifications. I don't know about you, but I just turn them off. I I just I figure I'll go in there and check it. When I get to it, it can wait. What about you? Are you picking this thing up and the news comes in
I
into
have
your
no news
consciousness?
coming through at all. I leave it to my family and friends who watch the news to let me know if there's something national or something local that I must know. Otherwise, I don't want to know it.
It's true. If you think about it, bad news, we know this. If you have any kind of background, even if you don't, you've heard this. We know that on average, people share bad news twice as much as they share good news. Yes, is that true, Dr. Andre? Have you heard this before?
It may be true, but in my world, it doesn't play that way. I do my best to, in fact, a friend of mine, I can't think of Julie's last name right now, it'll come to me later. She actually pitched a show to, I think it was ABC or CBS, about having a positive show with positive news and was promptly turned down because they said not enough people would want to watch it. So that does solidify what you were just saying.
Yes.
However, she's the kind of people, and you are the kind of people that I like to hang around with, that we focus on what's positive and only hear the negative when we hear that we have to, so that we can find something positive to do about it.
Thing is, here's where I'm going with this. If something that you really need to know, you'll find out about it.
Absolutely.
Somebody will tell you that bad news. Hey, did you hear what happened? It happens every day across the world. We want to share something bad. And by the way, if you know Flashpoint, if you know the book, I wrote this book called Flashpoint: Manifesting the Moment of Your Big Breakthrough. I talk about the interplay between the negative and the positive. So, of course, we want to be positive. Of course, we want to uplift you. We want you to elevate you. But we want to elevate you, but not at the cost of ignoring negativity.
Right.
It, it's really about embracing it when it does come into your world, and you can use it to your advantage, to your progress. So, if you're just joining, we'd love to hear where you're listening from, what location. And I'm just playing. This is a new platform for us. So I thank you for being here today. And I want you to get something out of today. Maybe, just maybe, the thing you're going to walk away with is this new word, AFRESH, which is scrolling down at the bottom of the screen, which says from a fresh beginning. So let's do this while we're kicking it off. Let's do this. When was the last time you had a fresh beginning?
Well,
Before you answer,
yes.
I want to throw it out there to the guests, whether they're live or on the playback. And I do want to put a little service announcement, Dr. Andrea. So I want you to hold your question, because
Yeah.
here's my intention now for this show. I want to share this, and I really appreciate you being here. We know that this show is reaching about 22,000 people a month. That's a pretty good number. No, it's not millions, right? It's not millions yet, but we know it's reaching about 22,000 people. And we know that the average watch time is about 20 minutes.
Mm.
They're really good numbers in today's world. Now, I want to be clear, not on Facebook, not even on YouTube at this point. So if you look at my YouTube channel, it's in development. But what makes sense is that when people are watching Apple TV, they're watching Roku, they're typically in front of their TV. They're willing to sit down and invest 15 minutes of their time versus on their phone where it's just scroll, scroll, scroll. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is I want to invite you, if you are getting inspired by the show, if you're getting value out of the show, I want to invite you personally over to the YouTube channel. Help me out. Subscribe. Just click the subscribe button. You'll get notified. And then when you're ready, you could interact with the show via the chat. How about that? Maybe you're on a mission yourself. Maybe maybe you've been kind of in solitude, maybe, and now you're thinking, I want to get out there and I want to start to tell the world what I'm up to. Maybe I went through a tough time. Maybe I'm in a tough time, but I want to share it. I want to be vulnerable. Or I'm coming out of a season and I'm excited about a project that I'm working on. So I want to invite you, that person who's out there getting this on one of those platforms. I want you to join us. I want you to join us on the YouTube station there. Now I'm going to go back to Dr. Andrea because we asked a question. When was the last time you feel like you began afresh? And then I'm throwing it out there for the audience as
Well,
well.
thank you, because I wasn't going to answer about me, but I can. What I wanted to say is I'm excited because of what's been afresh for you. Because I pulled up something about you, because this was your old bio, and so I wanted to give a chance for people to hear about you for just a moment. So Austin J Haines is a mentor, inspirational speaker, and author who has worked with multimillionaires, top speakers, and couples on the verge of divorce. He is the creator of Flashpoint, manifesting the moment of your big breakthrough. Flashpoint has become a live transformational event, book, documentary, and TV show with over 15,000 views per month. And you recently launched a new show called Power of Pure Presence. Now, this was, I think, a year and a half ago. And look what's changed now. So let's update people to what you have transpired or become afresh to with you. First of all, your show now is called, you're all watching the Austin J Haines Show.
Yeah, I can speak to that because it's not that like the show's about me, but what I wanted to do is I wanted to be able to brand the show so that I could do anything under that name.
Yeah.
Flashpoint has become, it's a book, it's a live transformational event. And for me, Flashpoint is the vehicle that I use to help people. That's what it is. It's its own ecosystem. And so Flashpoint is still well a part of this journey. It's available to you. You can get the book. And I haven't, I mean, everybody that's talked to me that's read this book it's literally had a breakthrough. They've had something happen in their lives. First chapter, the poem at the end, some of the, because this is not what I want to tell people, Dr. Andrea.
Hmm.
This is not a book on be positive. Like there's plenty of books on be positive. Okay.
Absolutely.
This is a book on what does it really take to create a breakthrough in your life. And while being positive is a part of it, it's a part of a much larger puzzle. And this is my humble attempt. And believe me, there's no way for me to cover it all. But I believe the way the information is curated, the anecdotes, the stories, some of the things that I've accrued over my journey of 25 years are in this book, and not to mention 19 years in sales. It's a special read. It's for the right person who's really ready to do it, and it's become the live event. So, having said that, I'm going to pause here in a moment because I get excited about that project. But the show here is to bring on guests to hear their stories, to help them reset their lives, discover their purpose, and really live fully now. And I really do mean that. And it's not just a slogan, it's something that's possible. And I really want that to usher in here. And that's why we have the Austin J Haines Show.
Well, I do know that you always make it about everybody else, and that's one of the reasons that people really aspire to know you and to be around you because you make it about them. And in fact, your book is even dedicated to those with dreams not yet realized. The Flashpoint book, you do have other projects as well, and that's one of the reasons that I would love for you just to take a little bit extra time to share about who you are and how this has come to be, and to update the bio that I had in front of me for tonight because we weren't planning on doing this, and
No,
to let people know
surprise.
who you do reach out to, who are the people that are attracted to come here.
No, I appreciate that. And I just want to give Kerry a shout out for jumping on the show. Kerry, we're on a new platform here. We're navigating, but I'm glad to see you. I'm going to sit and I'm going to drink some water. And I invite you to do the same because this is real time. Dream big, drink your water, especially now it's warming up. It's good to hydrate. And I'm going to just talk about this. Well, they say there's a quote that says your vibe attracts your tribe. And I agree with that. But I also think that we get folks into our lives that may not be like our vibe, so to speak, but it all has a purpose. And I'm fortunate right now. We're launching another community, and some of the folks that are enrolling I just love these people already. Some of them I've just met recently. Some
Nice.
of them I'm getting to know. You, of course, we've worked together. You've hosted the events. You've been great with you always show up. Like that's what I notice about you. You always show up, and I appreciate that. So the the thing about it is I'm humbled because the people are some of them are just way more talented and skilled and than I am in terms of what they bring to the table, and they're some of them are like mavens. You ever read The
Hmm.
Tipping Point
Yeah.
with Malcolm Gladwell, right?
Yes.
There's mavens, connectors, and salespeople. They're like the three personalities or profiles, if you will, he writes about in the book.
Hmm.
And mavens are people that are information rich. They know they have the goods. They have the ability to tell you what you need. They've done the research. And I'm
Mm.
fortunate that I have some of those people that are coming into my world and they're attracted to me because of some of the things that I have. I spent 19 years in sales, although admittedly, that is not my top strength. Like I tell people that is not my top ability. I was good at it because my top strength is teacher advisor.
Mm.
But you could imagine somebody who has a strong ability to teach, advise, consult could do well in sales.
Yeah.
But and it did. It got me to the top salesperson on many occasions. But there's just some people that are cut from a different cloth where they have that they cultivate their ability And I do believe everybody can sell. I do believe that. We all sell every single day. So we're all selling at some levels, but there's just certain folks that, and that's why Malcolm Gladwell writes about it in the book, right? Salespeople, connectors, and mavens. So there's salespeople that just have this natural ability. And so that's not me, but I have some of that. But I'm a teacher advisor. And that's why I love creating a space where people can grow, writing a book that people can read, and creating an environment where growth can happen. And that's what we've done with all the different things that we're doing. And if you're new, I just invite you to say hello because there's room here for you. And I'm going to pause because I got a great metaphor that I've been cultivating that I'll share with you in a moment. But I just want to pause because I get excited about this. Are you with me?
I'm not hearing what you're trying to get us to hear.
Oh, I paused. I'm taking a breather because I
Oh,
want to give
I
everybody
thought I
time to
heard something, so I
process.
thought, are we pausing and we're listening? Okay, good.
No, I
Yeah.
said I'm going to pause,
Hmm.
which I did. Pause and breathe. You too. I see you. Pause. Really, pause. It's a great thing to just pause. How are we doing on this new platform, by the way?
It um it looks attractive.
Carrie says, "Congrats, the new platform. Hope it's going well." Well, how's it going? Can you hear us and see us? You let us know.
Yeah, I'd like to see how well it looks from somebody else's perspective, if whether look the same, if we're pixelated, if we're the same. Because on my screen we show up differently. So, although we are yin yang, you totally know that because you said pause and breathe, and my pause was like, done.
Right. Yeah, the yang is something I've cultivated since I began this journey, and it's incredible. But what I was going to say is the big word right now is, oh wait, I don't see Dr. Andrea, but I see you, Austin.
Oh,
How's that possible?
it says I'm on stage.
Yeah. Let's try this. I'm going to have some fun here. Let's try this.
Well, I can jump around and move. Jump around.
There we go. You're on.
Well, fun. Hi, everyone. I was just the secret voice in the background.
All right,
It
we're
looks
back.
exactly the same to me. So from here, I can't tell any difference. So that's also good for us to know. That means that I am not able to tell you anything different from my perspective, from what I see as a co host.
Yeah, and we're testing, so we're doing this real time. So I appreciate you having some grace with us because we're going to have a couple guests on next week, and we're going to have more guests as we go through telling their story. But let's get back to you. You had asked me a question, and I want to make so as what I was talking about. There's this new buzzword that's out right now. It's called sirtuins. Have you heard this?
No.
So sirtuins are this part of your DNA, if you will, that essentially, without getting too complex, fosters youth. So essentially, if activated, it literally can turn back the clock on your physiology.
Hmm.
And they're doing tests right now. They've done tests in mice where they've literally, where they, for example, an older mouse loses its eyesight. They go in, they activate this in the DNA. I guess it's a genome, maybe. I'm dangerous, but I'll do more research on it. But anyway, they're able to reverse where the mouse gets its eyesight back, like that kind of like stuff.
Nice.
Very, very like like futuristic. And there's a lot of folks that are taking this to activate. I mean, there's like a product I think on the market now. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is the whole premise is that you have the ability for youth inside you right now. So there's a code. So essentially, you can manipulate this code and turn back the clock so you look younger. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, not because we're going to be doing that tonight, but what I'm saying is you have a purpose in you, just like the sirtuin that can be activated with the right recipe, if you will. The right recipe can help you discover, clarify, activate your purpose. But the complexity of the human brain is outcomplexed itself. And we forget. And we label. We judge. And the labeling and the judging and the categorization causes people to just live up to that category over and over and over again. Meanwhile, the purpose and the seed is waiting for you to tap into it. And the only way to do it is to get free up here and begin to look at things and look at yourself differently. It's the only way. Otherwise, that's why so many people live on repeat. So I wanted to share that because like that's a great metaphor of how we can, and you may say, well, how do I do it? You just left me hanging. How do I activate this? Well, the book's a great place to start. The book's a great place to start. You can get that on Amazon. I'll see if I can pull that up. I'll put the link in the chat. That's what I'll do. So, Dr. Andrea, back to you. What do you think about this sirtuin?
Well, I'm loving that. In fact, I was going to be playful and fun when you said revert back to childhood, or I couldn't do it in a moment. I'm like, oh, yes, I could. I could. I was like, oh, my hair's long enough. I could all of a sudden put pigtails and look way younger.
Well, it's interesting that you say that. They've actually done studies on this. They've done studies. Whoops. We were unable to. Okay. It won't post. Okay. Anyway, they've done studies where they've taken elderly people, let's say in a nursing home or an old age home, and they replicated an environment, let's say when they were in their 30s or 40s. And they brought them back to that environment, and their physical bodies got better. They responded differently. So that's not even manipulating your DNA or anything. That's just moving a person from an elderly home to an environment that they associate with of when they were younger, and their face changes. Their bodies kind of change. That's the power just of association. Isn't that fascinating?
Oh, it's fantastic. A girlfriend of mine is, we'll have her on the show sometime. She's doing an amazing conference where they are literally bringing all the toys and games out from people who are between 45 and 65, trying to bring out all their toys and stuff. And so it's going to be such a beautiful element to be in, because it'll allow people to be playful and fun and bring back memories for them. And they do say that with aging as well, like people have their long-term memory. So if you play songs from when they were in their teens and their 20s, they'll remember all the music and all the lyrics and all the songs, and often be able to remember things right now that have been associated. So the short-term memories that were associated with long-term memories, they're able to recall that information and maybe remember family that maybe they don't normally remember. So it's quite exciting.
Fascinating. Hello, Carrie. You made it to our new party here. We're testing a new platform tonight on my show. Say hello to me. Let me know you're there. I want to invite you. I want you to take a step. Maybe you're on the Apple TV. Just go subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Let's get to know each other. It's time. It's AFRESH. It's AFRESH. That's the word. I'm going to put that up again.
That might be helpful for us to tell. Like I have Apple TV, but I don't know how to access the show. I've not ever tried to do that. In fact, I only have Apple TV because I wanted to
Great
watch
question. No,
series.
Great question. I'm glad you brought that up. First of all, I want to give a shout out to E360 TV. They're my partner. That's my distribution. and that's why I'm on this new platform. He kind of said, "Hey, do you want to be the guinea pig?" And I'm like, "Sure, let's do it." So we're doing that tonight. So I really appreciate you being here. Say hello. Let us know where you're from. And we are streaming live on E360 TV. What E360 does is they connect us to these other platforms.
Mm.
And now, just to be clear, we if you're on Apple TV or any Apple, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, you're going to look up E360 TV. And I'll put that up here. And but usually they get it. They usually get the playback. However, Power of Pure Presence, the other show that's on every Sunday, that has its own channel on Roku. So for
Mm.
you Roku folks, if you're getting this through E360, you can go and look up Power of Pure Presence on Roku and save it as a channel. It's got all the shows up there. It's a great show. I've had people tell me just 1 hour of that show has changed their life.
Nice.
Not hyperbole, and it's just to me it's changed my life. It really has. And so if you're just getting to know me and you clicked on here, this show we're watching right now is more about guests. We kind of play a little bit. We talk about things that matter. I say to people who care, but we like to have fun. And then if you're somebody who kind of struggles with living in the moment, like maybe your thoughts are racing and you're just obsessed with like judging, or you're trying to figure it out, you're confused, go watch Power of Pure Presence. One show could change your life. I'm serious. It's an incredible show, and it is on my YouTube as well. So if you go to that YouTube channel, you can subscribe to that. And I'm telling you, those just watching, even if your time is limited, I get it. These shows are long. It's tough to sit an hour. I get it. Watch 5 minutes, watch 10 minutes. And one other commercial, there's also a podcast. So both of these shows are up on Apple TV, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are distributed. You can get this on the podcast as well. So what my intention is, Dr. Andrea, I want to be more intentional with our audience. Out of those 22,000 that are getting us on these other platforms, my intention is that one person steps forward and begins their journey. They engage. And now we can, who knows who you're going to meet? You never know who you're going to meet and where they are in their journey. And we want to be that place that you come up for air, that you realize that what has been is not all there is. And that sounds very simple, but when you are in your life, and by the way, I know I'm talking a lot, but this is really important stuff. The studies they've done, more people feel alone today. The numbers are going up. Can you imagine this? We live in this I would say hyper connected world, but people feel more alone. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, full transparency, I felt that way myself today, and yet I'm one of those people that, it's oxymoronic because I'm like, how can I have a Rolodex of 75,000 people, and I'm one of these people who has more friends than most people that I know, and I mean, in fact, my husband and I had joked. I said, "Do you realize that if we like remarried and I had to pick out a wedding party, that I have more people that probably want to be in this wedding party than I have room for, you know, and yet I felt lonely today." And I think part of it is because I travel so much and I engage with people, and for me the connection is being with them, that even the phone and this is not enough. I'm a high touch person. And so, we do the best we can with this. And sometimes I can be online so much that I feel talked out. However, I still feel that need for connection with people.
Yes, and that's why we're launching a couple different projects. I'm going to share one of them right now that we are working on. This is a project to get your story to the world. If you have a story, and we're going to put a lot into this. It's going to probably take a good year, maybe about a year to get this one done. And then we're also working on a private community that's going to be the ability to connect. It says, I wrote about it in the book. It says there's an old African proverb: "It takes a village to raise a child." But often as adults, we forget that, and we don't think we need it. But if you're somebody who wants to grow, it takes a village. I think we're fooled when we get older. We think we got it, we know it, which you might have a head full of knowledge, but you're not progressing the way you want. And what I found is that when you get in commune with others, it accelerates your progress. So we're working on that. But let me cut over to this and check this out.
Mm.
Do you have an inspirational story and a message you want to get to the world? Welcome to the Underdog's Diaries.
I've always been in a situation where money was not my friend. And it's not because I didn't understand the strategy, right? Because of the 80-20. It's not so much strategy as it is mindset, right?
An exciting new campaign that will feature your story in the newest book series, The Underdog's Diaries. A live virtual summit and a live in-person event in Philadelphia featuring the Rocky Steps. Listen, the world needs your story now more than ever. People are seeking answers and inspiration. That's where you come in. We are launching this project, The Underdog's Diaries First Edition, this year, and we're looking for incredible underdog stories. If this sounds like you, complete the application today and get the process started. Additionally, for you solopreneurs, side hustlers, and entrepreneurs, we're going to have various options to help you grow your business. Complete the application today and let's get started. So there's an exciting project there that I think lots of people can benefit from if you're ready to get your story out there. And I'll put the link at the bottom of the screen. You can check it out. It's the underdogsdiaries.com. And we will, again, that's probably going to take a little bit of time. We're looking to put 52 stories in a book. So that's a big undertaking, as you know. But maybe your story could be one of them.
And I think it's really beautiful that that the time that you've planned is about a year out, and we want people to be ready to do that now, because in the allowing yourself to develop it within this year allows you to do things to the highest level of excellence. And by starting or by having this underdog diary, but yet taking this full year to allow it to foster and grow and expand, you'll no longer be an underdog for sure.
Yeah, so let's get back to AFRESH. When was the last time you felt you began afresh?
Hmm.
You had asked me about it, and I feel like every day I begin afresh. I really and truly do. And it wasn't always like that, though. I remember, rolling out of bed and kind of just rolling into the day and thinking about the endless things that we have to do and feeling unfulfilled. And so, while of course there's moments, but if you're not in alignment with the direction you're going in, you don't like the situation, sure, you can manipulate it. You can do some things, but the whole idea is to get in alignment to the overarching thing in your life, your relationships, work that inspires you, makes you passionate. And I just heard another clip, and I say this all the time. Stop working hard. I'm going to get some comments on this, but everybody says, oh, you got to work hard. You got to work hard. You got to work hard. I hear this. I just heard Pitbull. The harder I work, the luckier I get. And I believe the proper term is work passionately. Passionate work looks like hard work. Nobody is going to sign up for hard work. Nobody. But if you are in alignment with what you're doing and you have passion about it, hard work is the fruit of that. And everybody goes, wow, you work hard. Just smile and go, I work passionately. And that's my belief on it because there's people that work hard that don't get ahead. So it's not just hard work. It's work that you're in alignment with, that you feel passionate about.
Sometimes they're working hard, but they're hardly working.
Well, how about that? It's the spinning of your wheels.
A lot of busy work.
Yeah, right. You seem to be just spinning your wheels.
Yeah.
But I think we all can relate to that. Like we've all been there, right?
And sometimes, is it really hard? Sometimes I do know that my father-in-law used to ask my husband if he had worked an 8-hour day yet. And I said, who decided that Tom has to work 8 hours in order for him to feel like he has achieved anything in a day? If he's worked efficiently and passionately, we'll use that word, and got everything done that he needed to do, maybe 4 hours of work is all he needed, maybe none. And there are days that he'll put in 12. And I always, and I would always like, Lowell, that's not how it has to work. Tom doesn't have to work hard in order for him to feel like he's accomplished anything.
There you go. It's exactly. And I don't even count the hours. To me, it's the line between work and play has blurred for me, which I'm happy to say that. I mean, that was not the case before.
Yeah, yeah, I'm because technically, every time you go to the beach or you walk and you videotape anything, you're technically working. Or are you playing?
Right. There's the line between the two have blurred, and I feel like everybody can experience that.
My husband is working tonight. He's going to buy a brand new to him, pinball machine, a Houdini pinball machine.
Oh wow! I used to love
Technically,
pinball.
technically, he's working.
You like pinball? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Type it in the chat.
Yeah, please write it in. We are pinball connoisseurs. We own Skillshot Pinball and video games, and so we put those in large commercial
Ooh,
games in bars, restaurants, movie theaters, like that.
really? When's the last time you played pinball? I got to turn the light on. So, Dr. Andre, I'm going to give you the spotlight here just for a moment.
Sure. Yeah. So pinball. So let's use pinball as an analogy. So the name of the business is called Skillshot, and when you play pinball, there's a plunger that you pull to put your ball into the game mode or to get it going into game mode to start it. And when you start by pulling the plunger just right, that ball will go out and curve and land in a certain area where you start with bonus points at the beginning of the game. So if you make that, it's called skill shot. And so when I met Tom, he had it as a hobby, and I said, let's make this an actual, business. And so I came up with the name Skillshot because I said, then you can tell everybody when you work with Skillshot, you always start with bonus points, and that has stuck really well for us. And he left his. We were not even together a year, and I encouraged him. He left his full-time job, and did the pinball business. And so my friends all thought I was crazy that, oh my gosh, Andrea married this guy who she's going to work full time and let him quit and play games all day. And they didn't
Wow.
realize that he was a gamer, but he's not like a gamer who sits there all day, plays like, maybe 20 minutes to 45 minutes, and that's it for the day. Or he might play it while he's working on them to fix it, but that's about it. So it's not an all day thing. But they were concerned because I paid for groceries with quarters, rolls of quarters.
Wow. We have an arcade here that just opened recently
Oh,
with all
fun.
the old school games in there. Yeah.
Yeah, we have an arcade in the house and one outside of the house. So people like to come here and play games. We have a claw and race games and some, one-armed bandits and all of that countertops. So it's a really way and people come and play and they have fun. So speaking of AFRESH, it's an opportunity. They get so excited when they come, and it's like having adult children come in. They're so excited and they recall their memories.
Very
What was
cool.
your favorite game? Do you remember having a favorite?
Oh my gosh, I had a problem with video games. I used to play all kinds of video games, but I loved pinball. Really loved pinball. It got I think probably kept there's things that kept me out of trouble. Video games and then basketball. Two
Mm,
things that kept me out of trouble.
nice.
Yeah,
Good
kept me out
pastime.
of trouble. What's that?
It's a good pastime.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to share something here. I think I'm going to try and see if this works. But this was a quote that I got a download on. So if you're going through a tough time right now, I think this will resonate with you. I talked about activating your purpose, right? We talked about the ability to that your purpose is in you, even if it's dormant right now, and regardless of what stage. I think the greatest opportunity is people that are midlife and up. They're sitting on a treasure trove of resources. So let me share this. This really touched me, and it's getting a lot of engagement. So let's see if this works. Major adversity is the cocoon that envelops one's life in order for their purpose to germinate. That can be a tough one, especially when you've had really difficult things happen. And if you're in the middle of a difficult thing, it's hard to say, "Oh, my purpose, get out." It's painful. It's really painful. But like Carl Jung said, if a tree branch's limbs are to reach heaven, it must be rooted in hell. I'm paraphrasing that quote, but it's this paradox at play. And that's what I want Flashpoint to do for folks. I want them to understand that it's not over. What you thought is the end, not the end. It's just the recognition of that. That is the human experience, to be able to be in it and not be lost in it, not let it take you down, and be able to rise again. So that quote is that'll probably go in the poetry book that's coming out. Excited about that.
You used the analogy or that quote with a tree, and I've always been a tree lover, and look at trees all the time and take pictures. I like trees with fungus growing on them and have big knot holes. But trees, if you think about it, if there's a fence post, it grows around it. If there's something in the way, like a line, they grow around it and up. If there's something to the side, it leans this way and grows. You could chop off half a tree and it still grows. And sometimes they'll bend and they stay. And it's quite amazing to see how resilient and now that researchers and different people who study trees have taken cord out the trees and looked, and they can see that how trees have lived through you know fire and
It's
cold.
fascinating.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating. And if it's not, just think there's trees on this continent that are over 1,000 years old. Some of them 2,000 years old, and I don't even know, there might be more. But that's a story. I mean, that's pretty amazing. Yeah, there's not many things that last that long. And it's interesting you say this, because today I was walking in town, and I walked past this tree, and I saw this like hose. It was a wire or a hose, and I'm like, wait, where did that come from? And the tree root had grown over top of this thing, literally, and it's exactly what you're saying. So I saw this today.
Yeah, it's so
I
cool.
witnessed this, and it's just a resilience which is in all things. It's in you too.
Yeah. So if you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be?
I love redwoods.
Oh.
I love redwood trees. I'm fascinated by how and there's other trees too. You can do a study. There's ones that are older than redwoods, I believe. But there's just something about those redwoods. I just love their majestic, mighty, just powerful.
Mm,
Really neat.
yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Amazing. Well, my favorite wood is oak, so probably an oak tree. Although I have a real fondness, I don't even know what they're called. I have 2 of them in my yard. They were a friend of mine, uh, she had them in her yard and we figured out how to get some off of it and grow it, but it's the trees that grow up with a darker bark and then they're like lavender purple and they branch all out and you have to sometimes pull them together so that they'll actually be a tree. Otherwise, they just look like a mess. Ours are a mess, and I love them that way.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar
I
with
don't know
that.
what they're called, but I have 2 of them.
We can get a picture. Who knows what this tree is?
Yeah. People use them ornamentally, because they're attractive and pretty, and you can see, they look good. But wood, like in the house, the wood that I love is oak. I have a thing for big, huge oak furniture. Super oak.
Yeah. Think about the wood that is used in homes. It's been there for homes that are over 100 years old. This wood's been there. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So yeah.
And I probably love it because my parents' house, we moved there when I was 6. It's oaks. It has oak ceilings and oak cabinets and oak doors and oak floors and oak everything built in. There's even some kind of like religious altar little thing, and we
Wow.
put the doorbell in it, and it's ornamental, and it was built in the late 1800s, I believe, and it's gorgeous. Just absolutely beautiful. Which is funny though. Everything.
Oh, are you there? Dr. Andrea, are you there? Are you there?
Yeah, I just saw a flash. I think you just had a flash point.
Well, yeah, I'm actually going to share something here in a moment. Let's see if we can. For those of you who are listening, there might be some updates to this, but I just want to give people a little bit of a vision for what opportunities. Some of the dates might change, but at least I can let folks know while we're here tonight. Let me see if I can make this happen in a way that everybody can read this. So let's do this right now. Let's
So
see.
while you're pulling that up, I'll just share a little bit. So Austin has some events coming up in this next year. We already talked about the Underdog Diaries. Next year, there'll be a beautiful retreat in Costa Rica that he'll be pulling up some information on at some point, and then we'll be doing Flashpoint. This one will be 6.0, won't it?
Yes,
Wow.
it will be 6.0, and I will talk about that. So look at this. This is working great. Hopefully you can see this. Let us know.
Looks fine.
So this is a 12-month vision. The Underdog's Diaries is going to take a little bit more time. So that'll be an ongoing project until we get these 52 people. My goal is to do a virtual summit on December 16th. And then we will go from there. It just depends on how many folks we get in.
We should create a deck of cards that go along with this.
What's that?
We should create a deck of cards to go along with this.
Oh, that's a great idea. The Underdog's Diaries deck. Yeah, that's a great idea. We could do that. And then we have the show, which is here, which is every Monday at 7 o'clock. We're going to have guests on. We have a Midlife Oasis, which is another book I'm working on.
By the way, all of these things are open and available for sponsorship. So if you're someone with a business that that entrepreneurs and healers and people of great influence would love to be in front of them and their audiences, this is a great opportunity for you to raise your hand and let us know that you'd like to be a part of that.
Right. Yeah, there's definitely some conversations we can have. And then Flashpoint 6.0, we've already gotten a sponsor for that, possibly 2,
Nice.
October
Beautiful.
20th, that weekend. And this is exciting. So Flashpoint, the book, which I'll share in a moment, is going to be up on an audiobook. That will be an audio book. I'm excited about that. So I'm doing that myself. I've been consulted to say you need to do it in your voice. So I'm going to do that.
I'm so glad you listened.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to do that because I think it's valuable to, because I remember even when I used to listen to audiobooks, I was always wanting the one with the author's voice because I want to get the essence of the message. So I'm going to definitely do that. I am definitely going to do that. Power Pure Presence is every Sunday at 10 a.m. You can definitely check that out. We had a little glitch with YouTube yesterday, but it is on Facebook and it is on the other platforms. And like I said, it's on Roku. Costa Rica, March 2nd through the 10th is booked. We have it booked. If you're interested in that, the price point is $59.97. It's $5,997 for plus airfare, and that is 7 nights, 8 days, all inclusive except airfare. That's it. Everything else is included: food and alcohol. Trust me, if you're coming here, you're not looking to, if you have a couple drinks, great. But I don't think anybody's coming here to drink all week. This is a life reset, so that's what this is. So, yeah, I just want to make that clear. And we may have, anyway, it's a mostly a non-alcoholic event, but they will have alcohol there. So people, if people want to go out and have a good time, they can definitely do that. But everything's included, but alcohol and airfare. And then, this is exciting. So Jim Hetherington and I are working on a Better Relationship Weekend in January of 2024.
Beautiful.
So that's going to be something that we feel is necessary. Jim's been married for over 41 years. He's an entrepreneur, used to be a pastor, just an incredible guy. And we're working on a great tagline for him, which I won't bring up now, but it's pretty interesting. And then this is exciting, an Iceland retreat. Iceland Story Retreat, August, September 2024. It's we got a really cool concept on this, which I won't get into now.
I love Iceland. I did not know that this was on your list. I've been there twice, but I had very short stays where I didn't get to go and experience everything that I desired. So it's been on my bucket list to actually go and experience it.
Yeah, well, it's pretty amazing. I have a graphic that I won't show now because I'm not ready to share it. But yeah, Iceland is, we're calling it a life reset in the land of fire and ice. Think about that contrast, because there's still active volcanoes there.
Yeah.
In the backdrop, Aurora Borealis, the lagoon, the landscape is just out of a movie. It's incredible, So I feel like taking people here, having these experiences, it's life-changing. It is I know what it's done for me. And I know what it's going to do for people who want to do it. It's, we're here to live fully now. And that, by the way, I think people think that means be irresponsible, and that's not what that means. It's cultivating your path to live fully now. And that may mean you go to Iceland. It might mean you don't go to Iceland. Maybe you go to the Costa Rica, or maybe you go out on a hike you haven't hiked in 20 years. It just depends on what your journey is.
For some people, it's opening their door because they finally are realizing that the threat of COVID is diminished and they are free to be outside. There's still people sheltered in.
That is true. That is true. So let's see if we can switch over here. There we go. We're back. And that's a good snapshot, as we got 4 minutes left in the show. And we appreciate you being here, whether you're getting this live playback podcast. Let us know. It's for you. It's for you to get insight. I've been doing this for quite some time. And I do have sponsors for this show. I want to just call out Marlon Mueller. We'd like to say he's our farm boy who became a multimillionaire, and he's just spent 35 years learning about wealth principles.
Wonderful man.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's very approachable. He's not like one of these guys that you can't get a hold of, or he has the goods and he's approachable.
Very much so.
And I don't have the graphic here, but we will get a new graphic for him but you certainly can touch base with us, Marlon Mueller. So I just want to give him a shout out. With 4 minutes left, Dr. Andre, I'm just going to turn it over to you, see if you have any final comments as we come in for a landing here.
Yeah, so in the show, we talked about being afresh and starting afresh on a new platform, and that, here's Austin, this new opportunity to reach more people in different ways. And we're actually looking for different circles for Austin to tap into so that we're reaching the people who've been looking for him. And we know that they're out there. So if you have introductions for Austin, you're more than welcome to contact me. By the way, I'm Dr. Andrea Adams Miller with the redcarpetconnection.com and Austin Haynes.
Yes.
It's austinhaines.com, but the show is Austin J Haines. And you can reach out to Austin directly as well to let him know, who you think would be a good audience for him to be in front of or to speak in front of, so that we can share this opportunity of all these wonderful gifts that will be given to people to help them, guide them along the way and on their path and journey to their flashpoint moment, and introducing them to those opportunities to reevaluate their life and allow something different to happen. And we talked about trees and seeds, and it's funny, we started with germinate, somehow we got to trees, and then when you think about it, and then I did mention the nuts, so and those are just seeds for trees. And so what seeds are you planting for yourself so that you can go along this journey and create this new beautiful forest or this woods that Austin will someday come out and take a walk through and interview you amongst the trees.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, I want to hit the road. I want to be outside. It's to me, that's the most transformational place, is to be outside. That's why we do the Power of Pure Presence. So I just want to again invite you, if you're that person who's on one of the platforms, you came across this, somebody shared it with you. If you go to the YouTube channel, you can get notified on all the things that I typically do. All the videos there, they end up there. Like this one's going there live right now. So if you're watching, subscribe if you haven't already. Listen, I want you to move forward. I mean, that's what this is. I spent 19 years working for the same company. And in the middle of my best year, I resigned to start my life over. And I wouldn't change a thing. I am so grateful that I did it. And that doesn't mean that this is like I have some perfect life, but knowing that you are following your calling, there is nothing more valuable than that. Nothing. Not money, not a job, not anything. So I want to thank you for being here tonight. Let's connect. We do have for those of you that are in my community, you've been in the stuff, we're having an ACT call this Thursday at noon and 7 p.m. And that's open for guests. You can join that. That's accountability and community. But that's mostly for people who already know me. It's not for just the open market. But if you're interested and you want to know more, certainly we will definitely talk to you about it.
And you reach out through Austin Haines, HAINES.com. Austin with an I. Austin.
Yeah, let me just throw that up real quick so people can get that. So because there's a way there you can.
And look for Austin J Haines on social media platforms, and you'll find him there as well, and find other information about him if you just put that up. And he's on TikTok.
I am.
Yeah.
I met meeting some great people on there. But there, it's 8 o'clock. It's top of the hour. The website's there. It says free virtual discovery. You can book there. And let's do great things together. Thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you next week. We're going to have 2 special guests with us, so stay tuned for that. Bye for now.